There's something brewing in Philadelphia. And no, it's not just the electric vibes pulsing through Lincoln Financial Field. 2 games into the season, the Eagles find themselves in a strange position. They're undefeated, yet the offense hasn't exactly lit up the scoreboard or dazzled fans with explosive plays. It's been more of a slow simmer than a full-blown eruption. But if you've really been watching, and I mean really paying attention to the tape, not just box scores or social media noise, you can feel it. This offense is on the edge of something big, on the edge of breaking out. And week 3 might just be the moment it all comes together. Now look, the frustration is understandable. You've got Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devon Smith, weapons all over the field. And yet, through the first 2 weeks, the Eagles' offense has felt tame, predictable, safe. It's like watching a sports car idle in a parking lot. You know what it's capable of, but it hasn't hit the gas just yet. Fans are right to question some of the play calling. They're scratching their heads at the lack of deep shots, the missed opportunities, the flat rhythm. But here's the thing. The Eagles are built differently. This team doesn't panic. And when you dig a little deeper, you'll see that there's a method to the madness. It all starts with philosophy. Head coach Nick Sirianni and quarterback Jalen Hurts have been the constants since 2021. The offensive coordinators? Not so much. We've seen Shane Steichen in and out. Brian Johnson came and went. Kellen Moore took the reins and handed them off. Now it's Kevin Patullo's turn. But through all that turnover, pun intended, there's been one guiding principle that this franchise lives by: protect the football. That's not just lip service, either. Statistically speaking, when the Eagles win the turnover battle, they're not just good, they're elite. Try 36 wins and only 2 losses since Sirianni took over when they come out ahead in that stat. That's not a fluke. That's identity. And yes, in today's game where fantasy stats rule Twitter and highlight clips get more love than sound strategy, that approach might seem boring. But guess what? Championships aren't won in fantasy leagues. They're won on the field, in the trenches, and with discipline. The Eagles know they're built for the long haul. They're like a boa constrictor, slow, steady, suffocating. They wear you down. They dominate time of possession. They outlast. And when they don't turn the ball over, they're nearly impossible to beat. Still, even within that structure, you expect some fireworks. You expect this offense to flash. And what's crazy is they almost have. Multiple times already this season, this unit has been inches away from making the kind of plays that flip momentum, change games, and turn doubters into believers. You want proof? Go back to the very first snap of the game against Kansas City. The Eagles line up with A.J. Brown in motion, Saquon Barkley in the backfield, and a formation designed to create confusion. Hurts takes the snap, eyes locked on Brown, who's about to break free across the middle. If the protection holds for even half a second longer, it's a wide-open shot, maybe 70 yards to the house. But the blocking collapses. Hurts has to scramble. He fumbles. Drive over. Opportunity lost. And that's the thing. This hasn't been about lack of talent or lack of scheme. It's been execution by inches. These aren't systemic issues. They're the kind of near misses that tell you something bigger is coming. On another drive, Devon Smith catches a quick pass in the flat. One broken tackle, and he's gone 40, maybe 50 yards, untouched. But it's a shoelace grab, a desperate ankle drag by a defender that pulls him down just before daylight. You stack up a few of those, and suddenly this boring offense doesn't look so tame anymore. It looks like it's one block, one bounce, one timing click away from exploding. The thing is, the Eagles' Week 2 opponent wasn't just any defense. The Chiefs, led by Steve Spagnuolo, came out with a game plan designed to attack. Blitz after blitz. Pressure from all angles. They sent extra rushers on more than 60% of Hurts' dropbacks, the highest blitz rate of Spagnuolo's tenure in Kansas City. When that happens, your playbook shrinks. You can't wait for deep routes to develop. You can't call slow-developing play action. You got to get the ball out fast. And Hurts did just that. On average, he was releasing the ball in just over 2 seconds. That's surgical. That's efficient. That's smart quarterbacking. But of course, the casual fans don't care about that. They see 101 passing yards in the box score and scream from the rooftops. Was this guy a top 5 quarterback? It's the loud minority syndrome. A few talking heads on social media make enough noise, and suddenly it feels like everyone is doubting Hurts. But if you're watching with football eyes, if you're seeing the coverages, the pressures, the reads, you know better. You know that Hurts, while maybe not flashy in the stat column, is playing smart, calculated football. He's taking what the defense gives him. He's making good decisions under fire. And that's how you win. Now let's talk about timing. Because some people are acting like the season is already on the line, like this offense is broken beyond repair. But this is the NFL. The season is long. Peaks and valleys are part of the journey. And Patullo said it best. You don't want to peak in September. You want to be hitting your stride in December and January. That's how the Eagles have done it in recent years. In 2021, in 2022, in 2024, they weren't perfect out of the gate. But they built momentum. They learned from the early stumbles. And by the time the playoffs rolled around, they were a machine. That's the goal again. And when you hear Patullo talk about the process, about embracing the grind and learning from the bumps in the road, it's clear this staff isn't worried. They're focused. They're measured. They understand that a couple of missed deep balls in week 2 mean nothing if those same plays hit in week 10 or 11. You don't get bonus points for flashy September wins. You get rings for playing your best football when it matters most. Still, there's room for improvement. There always is. The lack of intermediate passes has been surprising. Hurts is one of only 2 quarterbacks in the league, along with Pittsburgh's backup Mason Rudolph, who hasn't attempted a throw between 10 and 19 yards this year. That's a hole in the game plan that has to be addressed. And yes, Hurts isn't the type to layer throws over defenders with the same touch as an Aaron Rodgers or a Brock Purdy. But that doesn't mean the intermediate game should be ignored. Scheme it differently. Move the pocket. Use motion. Get creative. You have too much talent not to explore that space. And as for the deep shots, they'll come. Hurts has arguably the best deep ball in the league. The touch, the arc, the anticipation. It's Russell Wilson at his prime. Moonballs, rainbows, whatever you want to call them, he can drop it in a bucket from 40 yards out like it's nothing. But you can't force it. Not when defenses are selling out to blitz you every snap. Let the game dictate the opportunity. And when the time comes, unleash it. What you really start to appreciate when watching this Eagles team closely is how layered their identity is. Yes, they've been conservative to start the year. Yes, some play designs feel like they're playing it safe. But that's only half the story. There's this constant internal battle between playing clean, disciplined football and leaning into the explosiveness this roster is capable of. And right now, what we're seeing is a group that's trying to find the right balance. They're still figuring it out. And guess what? That's not a bad thing in week 2. That's exactly what the early part of the season is for. To go through those adjustments, to face adversity, to make mistakes that you can fix before the games that really define your season. Kevin Patullo said something that speaks volumes, that he wants this offense to trend toward its best version by the end of the year. That's not just coach speak. That's a winning mentality. How many times have we seen teams come out of the gate scorching hot, lighting up scoreboards in September, only to burn out by December? It's almost a cliche at this point. The Miami Dolphins last year are a perfect example. They hung 70 points on the Broncos, and people lost their minds. But when it mattered most, when the temperatures dropped and the defenses tightened, that team had no answers. They peaked early. They fizzled out. The Eagles don't want that. They want to peak when it counts, just like they have in seasons past under Sirianni. That's how you build a championship run. The beauty of it all is that while the offense is ironing out the details, the Eagles are still winning. That's what separates the contenders from the pretenders. When you're able to win football games without playing your best, that's dangerous. That means when it does click, when the execution meets the talent, you're going to be unstoppable. And it's not a matter of if that happens. It's when. The ingredients are all there. Jalen Hurts is still the composed, dual-threat leader we've seen over the past couple seasons. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are still elite receivers. Saquon Barkley brings a dynamic presence in the backfield that the defense has to account for on every snap. And the offensive line, despite a few breakdowns early on, is still one of the most physical and experienced units in the NFL. One area where improvement is needed and expected is in the vertical passing game. Right now, Hurts has just 3 completions of over 10 yards. That's wild. Not because he's incapable, but because defenses are dictating that by the way they're attacking him. You have to remember, when a team sends extra rushers on over 60% of your dropbacks, it doesn't matter how talented your receivers are, you simply don't have the time to stretch the field the way you want to. That's not a knock on the quarterback or the scheme. That's just how football works. Blitz-heavy defenses force your hand. And Hurts has responded in a veteran way, by not forcing the ball, by not turning it over, by being patient. It's the kind of decision-making that doesn't show up on highlight reels, but wins you games. And again, 36-2 when they win the turnover battle. That's not a stat you ignore. And the funny thing is, they've tried to hit those big plays. That first snap against Kansas City was a perfect example. The design was beautiful. The route concept created separation. The defense bit just enough. A.J. Brown had daylight. But one missed block up front, and it's a busted play. Hurts didn't miss the throw. He didn't misread the defense. The play just fell apart before it could even breathe. Same with the quick hitter to Devonta Smith. He was one broken tackle away from turning a routine slant into a house call. These plays aren't just fantasy. They're sitting there on film. They're real. And they'll start hitting as soon as the timing and protection clean up. You can also see the coaching staff adjusting week to week. Against Kansas City, they knew blitzes were coming. They adjusted with quicker throws, more screen looks, faster reads. Against Dallas, it was a different approach. Hurts was able to extend plays more, use his legs, and gash the defense that way. That's a sign of a smart quarterback and a smart staff, adapting to what the defense gives you, not just blindly calling plays out of playbook. And Hurts, for all the heat he's taken on social media, has quietly been one of the most efficient passers against the blitz. His composure is underrated. He stands in the pocket with pressure in his face and still finds the right read. That's maturity. That's growth. Now, there's one more thing that needs to be addressed: the intermediate throws. The Eagles have completely ignored that part of the field so far. Between 10 and 19 yards? Nothing. Not one attempt. That's insane. And while you could chalk it up to protection issues or play design limitations, at some point that part of the field has to be used. It's where a lot of first downs live. It's where elite offenses make their money. You don't need to live there, but you do need to visit. Especially when you have receivers like A.J. and Devonta who can separate at that level, and a quarterback like Hurts who can throw with enough zip to hit that window. No one's asking for 30-yard darts over the middle every drive. But mix it in. Force the defense to respect all 3 levels. Open up more opportunities for deep shots later. The comparison to guys like Aaron Rodgers or Brock Purdy in terms of layering throws is fair in style, but it's not the only way to attack that zone. You can scheme throws to that area with motion, with quick play action, with misdirection. And when the defense has to defend the intermediate, suddenly the safeties can't just play back and wait for the deep shot. They got to step up. That's when you take the top off. That's how you manipulate coverage. The talent is there. The offensive brainpower is there. It's just about sequencing it better. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world is buzzing with a rumor that could shake the very foundations of the league. Patrick Mahomes, the superstar quarterback who has become synonymous with the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty, is reportedly set to sign a 3-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the situation hint that negotiations have reached an advanced stage, sending shockwaves through fans and analysts alike. If true, this would mark one of the most seismic moves in recent NFL history. Mahomes, a 2-time Super Bowl participant and league MVP, has long been the face of the Chiefs' offense, leading them with a blend of precision passing, mobility, and sheer instinct. His potential move to Philadelphia would instantly position the Eagles as immediate Super Bowl contenders, transforming a team already loaded with talent into a juggernaut. The Eagles' faithful, long starved for quarterback consistency would suddenly find themselves in the rare position of having arguably the most electrifying talent in the sport under center. Rumors suggest that the contract is structured for 3 years, a term that hints at both flexibility for Mahomes and a clear signal of the Eagles' intent to win now. Insiders speculate that the financial terms are eye-popping, although exact figures remain under wraps. Philadelphia, known for aggressive moves in free agency and bold draft picks, will be making an unprecedented statement, a willingness to reshape the league's balance of power in one dramatic swoop. Naturally, the chatter has ignited a flurry of reactions across social media, sports networks, and locker rooms around the league. Chiefs fans are reportedly in disbelief, while Eagles fans are already envisioning Mahomes connecting with star receivers in a green and white uniform. Analysts are scrambling to dissect what this would mean for the NFC East, the AFC, and Mahomes' own legacy. Could a quarterback who has defined Kansas City's identity now do the same in Philadelphia? While skepticism remains. After all, the NFL is no stranger to high-profile rumors that never materialize. The sheer plausibility of this move has everyone talking. In a league where quarterback talent can instantly shift fortunes, the potential arrival of Mahomes in Philadelphia would not just be news. It would be a cultural event, a story that dominates headlines for months, and perhaps even a harbinger of a new NFL era. For now, fans can only speculate, but one thing is certain. If this rumor proves true, the Eagles and the entire league will never look the same again. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.